Okay, there's another update from the last video. I gotten the brake lines all finished up. I bled the brake lines, topped it off, brake fluid. Then I started to wire up the tachometer. As you can see in there, it's a rat's nest. But running into an issue last night trying to find a good positive source that turns on with the key without having to splice into the ignition switch according to the directions on the tachometer. Well, I was trying to find a fuse block and I could not find a fuse block. So I went on some forums and everybody's saying that it's behind the dash on the driver's side. So I gotta tear the dash apart and see where it's at. But initially I had wired the positive to the starter solenoid, which at first I was probably half asleep wiring this up and didn't realize that was a solenoid. I thought that was like a positive post, but it's not. I mean, it is, but it's for the starter. And it not necessarily did anything wrong to the starter, but I learned that the solenoid itself is actually going bad because it sticks. And what I mean by that is when you go to try and start the car, the starter still keeps engaging, but it's not grinding teeth on the flywheel while the engine's running. So it engages, spins the flywheel, disengages, but the motor is still spinning on the starter, if that makes sense. So then when you shut the engine off, you can hear the starter motor still going, but it's not engaging teeth to where it's hitting the flywheel. So the only other way to stop that is you have to disconnect the battery. So the solenoid's going out, and it only does it every couple times out of a handful of startup tries, whatever you want to call it. So, other than that, I did do some exhaust mods. I don't know if I can get down here because I'm fat. As you can see, did straights out the sides here, just behind the wheel. And it's quote unquote like long tube headers, but not really. Or half-ass zoomies. I mean, it's temporary until I do my turbo build for the other engine block. Continuing on here. But I will post, or I will add a couple clips of the exhaust sound in the video that I'm making right now. I'm not going to fire it up right now as I'm making this one, just because it's 9 o'clock at night and everyone in the house is trying to go to bed. So, yeah, don't want to disturb the peace. But, yeah. What else? Oh, and then, as you can see, there's a nasty brake leak down here. I did take it for a test drive. I did not do a test drive video just because of the issue I was running into. Wow, I was just blinding myself. Of the issue that I was running into driving it. Or just trying to start it. My bad. But, as you can see, we blew out a wheel cylinder. Or, excuse me, a brake cylinder. And I think that happened when we were bleeding the brake lines. But, yeah, as you can see, it doesn't look like it's coming out of the bleeder. That's all coming out from the drum. So that's a clear indication that the cylinder blew out. Which is probably just an O-ring, but I'm just going to go ahead and replace that. But that side has been rebuilt. Like that whole drum over there has. I don't know about this side. I have not torn this one apart to know. But that side definitely has been. But yeah, as you can see, we ran copper brake line instead of steel because living in the north, things get rusty. And I get very angry because I hate rust. Obviously, this has rust, but I wanted something that already had a little bit of rust to not really care. But I probably showed this in the last video, but there's what's left of the emergency brake or parking brake. And then that is the very sad looking brake line. At least one of them. I believe this one... Oh, where did this one go? I think this one ran up front, if I remember right. It either ran up front or it was going up to the axle in the rear here. But yeah, these brake lines, the old ones, are just shit. Like, you touch them, they just turn to dust. I mean, hell, the driver's side front here. Wow, what is that one? I think that might be old. Yeah, that looks old. That don't look like it's fresh. Oh, I hope it's not fresh. Now I'm kind of curious. Oh. I mean, it looks wet. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. Where's my camera? There. It looks like it's wet, but it's hard telling. Oh, you know what I bet it is? I bet you that's part of the PB blast I had, and that's leftovers from bleeding the brakes. I bet you that's what it is. So, as of right now, as far as I know, the only bad brakes that I have is the rears, which I'm fine with for right now, but I do need to get it addressed before I go super far. But the main stopping force is your fronts. Another concern too that I noticed when I was checking fluids, the coolant was about 2 quarts low, a little over 2 quarts. So I added, excuse me, not 2 quarts, it was like 2 gallons low, my bad. So 10 quarts, basically empty. But yeah, it took 2 jugs of coolant to top it off. So I got to figure out where that coolant leak is. And when I took out for a test drive last night, I didn't see anything leak. I'm not going to be able to say anything here, but I'm going to pop the cap open and take a gander. Ew. Green. Slimy looking. I don't know. I've honestly seen worse. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen it where it was actually just pure rust. That was actually my truck outside. That was like that. But yeah, I mean it's minor shit really. I mean I can drive it right now, but I need like a Saturday to drive it, because with us being in the new, not necessarily new, but being in the daylight savings time now, it's getting darker earlier. So by the time I get home from work, it's already dark as hell outside. And I really don't want to drive at night. And the car breaks down on me, and then I can't see shit. So I'd rather just drive it on a weekend day, so I can just see what all is actually going to be leaking, or could potentially go out on me. whatever it may be, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm going to drop the exhaust videos, and then I'll catch you guys on the next video.